This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead End Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, we have FIFO 24/7
What it do? What it do?
and Spike Lou.
What up, though?
You're now tuned into the best live sports talk show on YouTube. No filter, no agendas, just sports fans talking about sports the way you all do out there. As we get ready to kick things off, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, and go ahead and share the show, man. Let everybody know that we are now live and about to get the party started. If you're not a member, you can become a member by going to youtube.com/deadendsports. With that, you get a chance to participate in live calls with us every other Thursday. And we didn't have a show Thursday. Some extenuating things came up, but we'll be back. We should be back Thursday, and we'll try to get that call show going for you guys this week. But yeah, man, no Nick, no Shelton. But we got Q. We got Q the sixth man. He'll be with us. He stepped away for a quick second, but yeah, Q's here filling in, and we're gonna talk about the week in football, and of course get into some basketball talk as well, which I'm sure Q is excited about.
My
I think
time
Sheldon,
of
you too.
Sheldon driving Matt Rule to the airport, I think.
Ooh.
He said he had to take Matt Rule to the airport.
And we know why Nick out. Nick had a heartbreak loss, so he trying to recuperate. He trying to recover from that. Yeah. So what up, Q?
Yo, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Cool. Yeah, we good. Before we get into the show, we got an update about playoff basketball.
Baseball.
Yeah, baseball.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, baseball.
Mhm. You excited too? I see.
I have.
So what's the latest?
I've been following the Braves this season. The playoffs started. The divisional round of the playoffs started today, and the Braves put Fried out there, and he's been struggling going into the playoffs, but that's their ace, and they thought that he was going to be able to get it done. He did not. The Phillies are on a roll. They rocked him. They jumped out 7-1 early. He got pulled. However, the Braves did show effort late. They came back, made it 6-7. The second out came on an amazing catch from the right fielder from the Phillies and kind of ended the rally for the Braves, and they just went out with a whimper after that. But they still the favorites of the series. I still think they're going to win. The Phillies are not going to have enough bats to get them through. They just dropped their first game, man. It was heartbreaker.
That's the thing about playoff baseball, man. Like being the best team in the league sometimes really don't matter. It's so fucking wild.
Yeah.
You just need to get hot. Just same thing that happened with the Mets, like 101 games, and they're
You out of there. Gone.
So.
In 3 games, your whole season over. Baseball, I feel like baseball is one of the best when it comes to the playoffs. I can't be locked in for 182 games, but those playoffs, especially when you get into the league championship series and the World Series, I could watch that. I could watch that all day.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's the score? What's the series?
1-0 Phillies.
1-0 Phillies.
Game 2 tomorrow at 4.
All right, cool. All right, well, there you go, y'all. Some
baseball Atlanta update.
I know, right? As usual, man, it's Hot Take Tuesday, Overreaction Tuesday. So man, let's jump into this. The Raiders and the Chiefs went at it last night, and what turned out to be a thriller, an unnecessary thriller, as a lot of coaching decisions were made like they were playing Madden. And I'm starting to see that a lot. So I'm okay with it because I'm trying to break the traditionalist in me. But I think it has to be and definitely situational. And those were not the situations where you're up 7 and you going for 2 to go up 9 when you can go up 8 and they still have to go for 2. There's no guarantee, as we saw when the Raiders came back and they had a chance to tie the score, and them knuckleheads went for 2s. All they had to do was get the extra point. It's 30-30. And they went for 2, didn't get it. So they end up basically costing themselves the loss in a multitude of ways, including the very last play where Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow ran into each other.
It's such a Raiders play.
It's such a Raiders play, man.
You said that in the group chat.
Yeah, man. It just felt fitting.
Yeah.
Watching it. Josh McDaniels, He on watch.
Questionable.
Yeah, we got to talk about him and who else? Derek Carr, and Devontae Adams balled out, but
he's a dude, man.
he balled out in the wrong way after the end of the game. Did you guys see that video?
That was a Raiders thing to do too. Such a Raiders thing to do.
Why are you pushing cameramen?
So I did hear. I listened to the Dan Patrick show, and they would. It was a guy on there who used to do that. So the guys that run wire for the camera, right? The guy that run wire came across Devontae Adams as he was leaving on the field, and Devontae Adams kind of just gave him the look like "fuck out of the way" and just kept walking, kept it moving. The guy that did that, that previously done that profession, said that Devontae Adams does have the right of way there. They are taught by their bosses, because they're usually low-level employees that have to run the wire and do that type of work. They're taught, if the players are coming, you got to get the fuck out of the way. In any circumstances, you need to move. And they showed the video. I mean, I'm not excusing what he said. However, the mandate is like players got precedent over you, so he was kind of in the right.
He was in the right, but
It was low
not
down.
in the right to push him.
Yeah, it was low down.
And if I'm that guy, I'm suing.
He filed charges.
He filed charges. I guess maybe that's the first step to a lawsuit. I'm getting paid. I ain't gonna lie.
Need a police.
But yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to see it before, but Pat was down 17-0.
Yeah,
Came back, won.
I did not see the game.
Chiefs the best team in the league.
I saw the highlights. You know what I'm saying? I saw some of the highlights. I have to say yes. Look, we seen Pat Mahomes do this before. Come back kid. It don't matter what you got him down by. That man always got a chance.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that if we're talking about best player, best quarterback in the league, Lamar's up there, you know, not to discount anything that brother's been doing, but nobody do it like Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody does it like that. And he has a Super Bowl to stamp it. You know what I'm saying? And all of these crazy plays that you've never seen before. Come on, man. Like you never seen this before. I don't care who we talking about, bro. Like, throw Aaron Rodgers in there now too. It like he usurps all those quarterbacks. So to me, he's the best quarterback in the league. And when he's playing, they never out.
That's true. That is 100%. He's like, in our generation, he like Jordan.
He is.
When you're looking at it, it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't even feel comfortable picking against him. I still think Buffalo has a strong, they look different.
As the best team in the league?
Yeah, they look different defensively.
They are
always going to be the thing for Kansas City, right?
But here's the thing, though. Mahomes has proven he can win any which way.
That's it.
Right? So down big, close game, come back all the way. Like, it doesn't matter. Mahomes has proven he can do that. Has Josh Allen proven that?
He has not.
So that's the difference. Now, I Buffalo as a squad, number 1 to 53, they better. Dog.
They look different.
They better.
But when you got Jordan, it ain't necessarily
don't matter.
Always the same. Right.
Give me a couple guys and we could do it. Look, Kelsey, 6 straight years, 1,000+ yards. 6. I heard Shannon today talk about like the best haven't done it more than 3 or 4. He's done it 6. And Shannon considers Gronk the best one. And let's be honest. What was Tom Brady's number 1 target?
Gronk. Right.
What is Mahomes' number 1 target?
Kelsey.
Tariq could go. That's cool.
We still got Kelsey in the goal line. Like, he ain't got to have but 25 yards receiving. He still got 4 touchdowns.
Because Mahomes is going to make plays between the 20s. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, he like you said, that's MJ. I could do all of this. Now, put me down here. Who am I going? We going creatively with that guy. You know what I'm saying? That's been doing it for how many years now? Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? He's going to create ways to get Kelsey the ball down there. Creative ways. Things that we ain't never seen. And then he's that talented that, hey, if I got one-on-one, just throw it up.
I agree. In a perfect world, I agree. However, we do see what happens. A tackle goes down or a guard goes down. Now Mahomes can't stand back there and cook like we want him to.
Hey, look.
Which is the only reason why I would say Buffalo. But I do agree with everything that you said, because if I were Buffalo and I were the number 1 seed and he got to come to Orchard Park in December, late December in the playoff game, I still would be scared. I agree with that. So the only thing I feel like that would stop Kansas City, or that we seen them hurt, we seen that line kind of get depleted at the end of the season. They fixed that.
Mhm.
Now we get to see what happens.
100%. I think it all boils down to the health of the O-line.
Yes.
Obviously, Mahomes got to be healthy, or to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is football. But if that O-line can be relatively healthy, even if they miss, see, you said a guard.
Mhm.
Now you can afford a guard, a tackle to be
'Cause the
missing
rest of
and
the line's
still
that
be
good
good
now.
enough.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, to me, Kansas City, they have the cheat code.
Okay.
It's just the cheat code.
What about you, Q? You think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL right now?
I don't think there's a best team in the NFL right now. But I think that the Chiefs look good. So it was a good win. But the Raiders suck. So
Yeah, I wanted them to come back. I was glad that the Raiders found a way to lose it. Because I don't know, it was something about him being down 17-0 and coming back to win that game. You could see the momentum shift, when they started to score. And the beginning of that game was a little fluky. It's not like the Raiders were dominating. They went for it on fourth, and Devontae Adams made a couple of really, really big plays. And but they never really had control of the game, and the Chiefs didn't really get going until late. But as far as the best team in the league, right now, I would say that they are. I think they definitely got to get the running game going a little bit more, but they definitely look like it. I think Buffalo's up there too, but they definitely look like it.
AFC dominant for sure.
Oh, 100.
I'm not even sure who the best NFC team is.
49ers up there.
49ers. Yeah, you're right.
That defense is crazy.
That is it. I say that.
Because Travarius Ward, woo! I saw a stat a couple weeks ago where he's the number one cornerback when the ball is thrown his way, like in terms of like defending the ball and getting back downs and catch completion, all that type. And you got that type of front, plus that those linebackers are legit. I don't know if y'all saw the rookie Drake Jackson.
Drake Jackson.
Them boys is for real on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Let's stay in the AFC a little bit here. Russell Wilson. Is Russell real? I think he's done. He's washed. Q, you don't think he is. And that was a reason why. But is he done, or is Nathaniel Hackett really that bad? And if it's Nathaniel Hackett that bad, was Pete Carroll really that bad when he was looking this way in Seattle?
Geno looked good though. So,
bro, we ain't about to hype up Geno.
I'm just saying.
Geno made like 2 or 3 throws, and I was like, "What the hell was that?"
To throw Pete Carroll some bill. That's all I'm saying. As we've discussed before. But getting to Russell Wilson, I think Nathaniel Hackett's that bad. I'm still holding out a little faith that Russ. I feel like that he's almost trying to treat Russ's game like Aaron Rodgers, where he came from, where he saw his success. Nathaniel Hackett. And Russell Wilson doesn't play football like that. And it looks like now Russell Wilson is second guessing himself. He's making throws late. Like he's just not doing Russell Wilson type stuff. He ain't playing winning football. And I think that that's coming from the head coach trying to get him to do shit that he thought A-Rod could be doing. And while they have similar talent, it's just like it's a whole different skill set. And I think that's what's throwing them off. I don't think Nathaniel Hackett is good for his job. I think he's gone after this year. They brought to the point the Waltons, they bought this team after he was hired, so they didn't even hire the coach. I heard another stat. We came in here and talked about him hiring the consultant. He has the biggest staff in the NFL. He has 31 assistant coaches. 31 assistant coaches that he employs.
Oh, that's too much.
It's crazy. He don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's gone, and all 30 plus people.
Come on, bro. You got 30 voices in the room.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the normal coaching
staff ain't 30,
size, but I'm pretty sure it's not 30, bro.
It's not 30.
Yeah.
Q, you don't think he's cooked, man?
I don't. I think that Russell Wilson at this point in time is there's a little bit of everything working against him right now. You do have the Hackett situation, which I do think is getting a little bit overblown, but I do think he is gone. But I think the report came out that he had a lateral tear or something, like with his arm or something that was a pretty serious tear that he's been fighting through for the past couple weeks. And I think that it's been pretty obvious that something has been stopping him from making 9-yard passes, like 9-yard checkdowns. Like those are like hitting the ground. And that's not just some, he's cooked, because you don't just lose your ability like that in 2 seasons, going from being a top 3 pick by your peers on the NFL top 100 to being worse than Baker Mayfield. I actually refuse to believe that that's possible for Russell Wilson, just a couple of years ago MVP candidate, to now just be done. I think Hackett, the injury, maybe some other things that we're not aware of mentally or whatever, maybe some drops and some miscommunications with young guys like Judy and whatnot. I think a lot of that is working right now.
But when it happens, Q, it happens fast, bro. You don't even see it.
Boom. But you know what, Ken? It's a lot of the decision making, and we called it out week 1. You gonna kick a 50? So you got Russell fucking Wilson, dog.
Even when they went for it, it was this past game, I think, right before he threw the interception, right? There was a questionable call that Hackett maybe should have went for it, because I think that I can't remember the specific scenario, but prior to Russell Wilson throwing that interception at the end, I think they could have kicked the field goal and pretty much been more in a winning strategy than what they did. And it's hard to believe, man, after seeing him fumble the bag for the first 4 or 5 weeks, that they're going to turn it around. And I don't think that after putting 250 into Russell that they're going to pull out on that. So they got it. This it. 1 season, 1 and done. That's it.
With Russ or with
no, with Hackett.
Hackett.
Yeah,
Hackett.
Russell, I feel like Q hit a lot of it on the head. Maybe it's the personal stuff, it's the injury, maybe it's the offense. Like I would give Russell the benefit of the doubt 100 times over before, from what I've seen from Nathaniel Hackett, to give him any grace.
So who would y'all like to see there, head coach wise?
Sean Payton.
In a perfect world, perfect answer.
Yep.
Absolutely.
See, that's why he the 6th man.
Absolutely. 1B, Dan Quinn.
No. Hell, the
defense already.
No, but you know what? But look,
I put Dan Quinn in there.
Look. Oftentimes, right? A football team either takes the personality of that quarterback or that head coach. And when the Atlanta Falcons took the personality of Dan Quinn, we were soft as hell.
Okay, good point. I back off Dan Quinn, but he got the Cowboys defense where they don't have a soft personality.
But you know what though? Sometimes it's better for those guys to just coach one side of the ball and focus on this one thing. Not everybody's
too rigid
coach.
for that makes sense.
100%. Like I always talk about North Turner, amazing
offensive coordinator.
But every time he had a head coach gig,
terrible
teams fumble.
Yeah,
so. At the end of the day, some guys are just assistants, and I think Dan Quinn is an amazing assistant. He's not a head coach.
Well, I hope he stays in Dallas as an assistant for a long time.
Well, he's doing a good job.
Yes. Shout out to Tracy G. I'm gonna read a couple of her super chats. One is on the topic we just discussed. Raiders won previously. Raiders won last night without winning. It's kind of sort of true. And it's about Russ, man. Can Russ get it together? Does the coach need to be fired? And should Thursday Night Football be boycotted for these terrible games? It won't be because of the money involved, but I actually want to go back and watch that game to hear Al Michaels. Apparently, he was tearing that game apart.
He was, he was kind of like.
Yeah.
What was the game? What was the game last Thursday?
Yeah, it was real sluggish. It was slow. It didn't. Both teams seemed very ill prepared for the game. And that happened sometime on Thursday night, but now even more so than usual. And to top all of that off, Kirk Herbstreit is terrible. Like he doesn't do Al Michaels any justice as far as just being an analyst and breaking the game down, making the game any more interesting. Like he never shares any information where you're like, damn, I didn't know that. Like Chris Collinsworth for giving you some gems. Romo is a beast at what he does.
Romo be predicting plays.
Yeah. And Troy Aikman is good. He'll tell you, hey, man, this happened here. Not 1 week on a Thursday has Kirk Herbstreit gave you any insight where you were like, okay, all right, I see why you in there. It's like L. Michaels is dragging him along. So
I'm gonna tell you one. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you one thing about these Thursday night games. I think is very interesting. Just if I was a player, if I was a star player in this league, the aftermath of all the Tua stuff, seeing that man season up on the ground on Thursday night and whatnot, and all the bad products like we're talking about. If I was a Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert or the Patrick Mahomes, I'll be on the phone the minute I see Roger Goodell sitting next to Jeff Bezos. And I'm like, how much we getting paid again? How much we got for this? How much are we getting for this ad money? Like, for real. Because this nigga, Jeff Bezos, got money with the Pentagon. Like, he got CIA money. So you talking about Lamar Jackson, should he get guaranteed? Motherfucker, we not playing another Thursday night game until we get this ad money redirected some type of way. There is no way in hell we're going to have Tua on the ground trying to get a contract, turning into a fucking paraplegic, and we got this nigga sitting next to Jeff Bezos? Nah, bro. Like, no. So these are the night games from a health standpoint, they shouldn't be happening, but definitely from a money standpoint, we going back to the drawing board on this shit. Fuck, you're not sitting next to Jeff? To Hefe? Stop.
Damn. So y'all think Hackett should go?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Should be the second coach fired.
Yeah, he should be gone now. If the Broncos want to get out in front of it, they fire him now. Like we made a mistake, bro.
What about Frank Reich? He's kind of battled back.
He's bounced back. We were hard on him the first couple of weeks. He has gotten it together. Matt Ryan still looks terrible. That was another bad decision to quarterback for him. So at the end of the season, if I were Irsay, I may evaluate, because that's what, 0 for 5, 4, 0 for 4?
Yeah. So you think he's safe?
For now.
Speaking of quarterbacks, this ain't even on the notes, but y'all see what Rivera said about Wentz?
That's crazy,
bro. What in the hell?
Never seen that. I commend Ron Rivera for that.
He was unfiltered.
Because
How do you commend him for that?
Trying to save his
I
job.
feel like that he was being honest.
Yep.
And
he picked him.
True.
I didn't know he was a GM. He's a
Well,
GM? I thought that he just had to deal with him because they didn't want
him.
to spend no money. I thought they had to deal with him, like, because they didn't have a better option.
I thought I saw that he was behind that.
Yeah, I thought he signed
I don't
off on
commend
it.
him if he picked him, because I thought that he was just like dealt that hand, and he was like, y'all not gonna fire me, and y'all gave me Carson Wentz.
I'll verify.
So
that.
when I said I commend him, that's what I meant, because I feel like that he knows his job is in jeopardy. And they're asking him, okay, well, what's going on? He's like, bro, look at this dude. Like, he can't even complete passes. He's standing back there all day.
Which is crazy that he's still top 5 in passing yards. He's number 5.
Yeah, but he don't play winning football.
No, I give you that. I 100% agree.
Like, he'll hold it at the wrong time. Like, he doesn't make good decisions. And that was probably one of the complaints that I had about Lance, kind of predicting that we would see the same thing. Just not having enough experience to play winning football at quarterback in the NFL.
But I think sometimes, like, amazing coordinators and head coaches can overcome that, right? And that's why I like Trey Lance, because of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
That was totally, yeah.
But I feel what you're saying though. Washington don't have that quarterback whisperer. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna take a risk on a dude like Carson Wentz, you got to make sure that you have that QB whisperer in your room. If it's not the head coach, and Rob Rivera, we know he's a defensive head coach. Yeah. He's a man amongst men. He'll put a strategy in place, but he's not the guy that's going to tell you the sweet nothings that a quarterback needs to perform at the top level. He's not that guy.
I respect the head coach saying, like, hey, bro, you got to play better.
100%.
That's what
100%.
How about he coach better?
I mean,
he
said further. Wake that up, King. Man, what y'all gave me?
What is that, Q?
I said, no, let's really wake that up, King, because it's like when people love to talk about what Carson Wentz should do, Ron Rivera ain't done shit for like how many years has he been in Washington? He hasn't done
playoffs last year.
Yeah, man, please, just stay the same way the Eagles made the playoffs last year, dude. Stop, like Heineken.
The expectations aren't high in Washington, and he meeting them. I'll say that. I'll say that. Ain't no high expectations.
But you know
DC.
what? But
they have an absentee owner. Like, no one cares. So he doing
But you know what though? Is there's a lot of talent on that roster. There's a lot of talent.
McLaurin
and offensively. There's a lot of talent on that roster. And for the rest of the NFC East to have the records that they have, those other teams should have some more losses based off of Washington's roster alone.
True. They should be better than the Giants.
Do you know
100%.
what it is, FIFO? Is that what Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz is like that really shiny car that rides really nicely, but it's just too frequently after it rides really nicely, it will always have a problem. And you can always count on that issue to cost you hella money. You're just like, bro, I can't keep riding this fucking car. But if you ain't got no other money besides the money for that car, you got to stick with it. So that's where the NFL is with Carson Wentz now, where it's like, dude, he can make 6 to 7 throws in a row. You're like, man, this guy's amazing. And then you get down to the 8-yard line, he throws a pick after running around, and just you're like, where did that just come from, Carson? And then that's what makes it so infuriating, is because he'll come right back the next drive and throw a 60-yard bomb. You're like, man, where is this talent? And so it's maddening to the point where he's not trash enough to throw him away completely, like, oh, he's Jay Cutler, but he's not. He's almost like the now luxury version of Ryan Fitzpatrick, the perfect bridge QB.
Ron Rivera is 15-23 as a coach in Washington. He's had a rotating set of quarterbacks, but nevertheless, he's 15-23, and 1-4 now. And Carson Wentz, I think in that game made a bad decision. I think he turned the ball over at the 2nd-yard line in a winnable game, but that's what he does. But what about that defense that he got that's really, really good? And I think we really need to ask ourselves, did Cam make Ron Rivera?
Yeah.
I mean, we really got to have that discussion now. We got to look at it. He hasn't had a quarterback as good as Cam since then, but, nah, man, you can't do that. And it's not like the rest of the quarterbacks are that great in the NFC,
especially not his division,
right? So
Daniel
how you say
Jones
quarterback
and Cooper Rush and like Jalen Hurts? Yeah, that is true.
Nah, come on, man, come on, you can't be doing that shit, bro.
I think he was throwing the build of the team under the bus, and I feel like that's because he's on the hot seat. So he's like, well, and that's why I was surprised when you said the GM, because I think that he's trying to in the media shift the blame to the GM, because later on in that quote he was also like, those other teams that have better quarterbacks, they have teams around, they have a better team around them for their quarterback to be successful.
But you know what?
He went on to say that too.
Yeah, but I personally, like when I look at Jahan Dotson, when I look at Curtis Samuel, when I look at
Scary Terry,
yeah. Right? Gibson is a pretty decent back. The O-line, okay,
right.
But then that D-line is ridiculous.
Chase Young been hurt.
You know what I'm saying? He has been hurt. But that defense isn't perfect and the offense isn't perfect, but it's good enough to do better.
He should be better than 1-4.
Exactly.
I do agree with that.
Because
when I look, a good coach, right?
When I look at the New York Giants, right? Like talent-wise, they're nowhere near the Washington Commanders, in my opinion.
Coach too. I like that coach, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Saquon is better, than any running back you got, but that's about it.
That is it. Like, did we be that? Yeah, that's it. They have an impact running back, but that's probably it.
Like, and the Giants are finding ways to win amidst the injuries,
and it looks different. Like they look like they fighting out there. They look like they going to bat for their coach.
They look like an NFL team.
Yes,
that everybody's on the same page.
That's true.
And the Commanders don't look that way. That's Ron Rivera.
Yeah, he's actually been pretty mediocre. And just going back to the Panthers, he was 12-4 in 2013, 15-1. I think that was a Super Bowl run. 11-5. But outside of that, man, 5-7, 7-9, 6-10, 7-8, 7-9, 6-10. And those were Cam was there. And then so he's doing the same thing here in freaking Washington.
He just don't got Cam Newton.
Right. 7-10 last year and 7-9 the year before he got there. But they just like the Eagles, backdoored their way into the playoffs. And they were all won the playoffs. We got to stop. That's why this Eagles, I ain't trying to shit on them, but teams with losing records making the playoffs, backdooring the playoffs, there's only so much credit we should give them. I'm sorry, it is what it is. But
But I'm saying, okay, so the way that the Eagles have started this year doesn't give it any like more credence to how they finished last year. No,
I
don't think so.
That schedule itself is tissue.
Yeah, look at the schedule, bro.
They ain't played no.
I
And this is definitely coming from
the
a biased
Eagles
Cowboys
went
fan.
0
I
and
hate the
6.
Eagles.
The Eagles went 0 and 6 against playoff teams last year. Spike. Every win we got last year was against sub 500 teams.
They've had a better roster than everybody they played. I mean, can't play who put in front of you. I understand that, but once it get colder, those little windows start tightening up for Jalen Hurts. It's gonna look a lot different out on the field.
Do you know what? Do you know what I've been saying? And this I'm not trying to spark an argument, but if people want to chime in on this is cool. Because me and FIFO had a quick exchange on this a couple days back. When I've been using the term schemers league for a minute now, and I think when I say that, I don't mean that coaches have never had X's and O's and masterminds have never found ways to circumvent or reverse engineer football to bend to their will and whatnot, like Belichick and whatnot. Of course, there's been those guys. What I'm saying is we are in a schemers league now where as long as you have a certain baseline amount of talent with your quarterback, I think you can, with a coach that is this type of mind is now as diverse as the league has ever been. It used to be just you only have one Belichick. Now there's multiple offensive guys that can find a way to get mediocre QBs to throw for their career seasons, get them to playoff games, get them one playoff win, get them almost a playoff win. But every talent has that ceiling. You know what I mean? I feel like back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, even late, early 2010s, the cap on what you could be was heavily reliant on the talent of your QB. And no matter what your scheme was, you couldn't really circumvent that. Now you got guys who are rookies, second-year guys who are on the trash heap, guys who've been rehabilitated with pre-snap motion, a whole bunch of read offense, a whole bunch of, all these new gadgets that coaches are putting. The Shanahans, the McVays are making these mediocre or just okay or high-grade mid QBs look so much better than what they are. So that's why it's hard for me to judge all these quote-unquote great teams and gaudy numbers, because those gaudy numbers always find a way to get exposed these last couple of years in the playoffs. And that's a trend that I've been tracking, which I call the schemers league, hence the Jalen Hurtses, the Geno Smiths, the Kirk Cousinses of the world, throwing for all these numbers, but when it counts? That's kind of where I'm at.
I'm with you.
Yeah, when I was like, damn, they 5-0, man. I said I'm gonna have to respect that record a little bit. But I was like, let me see what's going on, man. Let me see what's really happening out here. And I looked, I was like, okay, like, you beat the Jags, you beat Washington, you beat the Lions, wait, is this let me see if I got it right. Hold on, this updated. Yeah, you ain't like their best win is probably came against the Vikings. I think, but but hey, man, like it's
just in time. Look, he's just in time.
It doesn't hurt to stack wins early.
It don't.
As the schedule toughens, because you could luck up and win some of those games against those teams. Some of those teams could get hurt, as well, or you can really build momentum and chemistry from all of this as a unit, and all of a sudden, then you really rocking and rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. And to Q's point about the schemers league, I agree with that. You can even tell how teams pursue quarterbacks now. Like the ultimate situation to be in is that rookie quarterback deal. Well, I don't have to spend a lot of money there. I spend my money everywhere else, and we develop a scheme around that quarterback for the first couple of years while the league's trying to adjust to him. So I do think that is a definite fact, as far as it's hard to gauge who's going to be long-standing. Because look how we're talking about Russell Wilson now. Like, you would argue a couple of years ago with the scheme that he was in, that he was one of the best quarterbacks headed for the Hall of Fame. Now he's in a different scheme, and look at him. So, I mean, that's a great point.
Bro, this schedule is fucking like soft.
They have look at the rest of it.
Their hardest team to have to play are the Packers.
Are they playing NFL teams? Or are they playing college teams? Let me know, because
they playing sorry ass NFL teams. Yes,
I'm just checking in because y'all talk about easy schedule. As far what I know about pro football and what I know about pro basketball and pro sports in general is anytime you're playing a team, you're apt to be beat. We see it all the time. You saw Seattle when they played Denver. You still got to play the games. And
What do you know about bad
playing the
teams?
games,
What is that? What does that mean though?
It don't mean anything.
What that means is that you can call them good teams, bad teams, easy schedule, whatever you want to call it. You still got to play. And the fact remains that this guy is 9-0 in his last regular season game. Now, it doesn't mean anything when it comes time for the playoffs, but you give credit where credit is due. The man is playing great football. His team believes in him. His city believes in him. Everybody believes in what they're doing in Philly. Now, we're going to see what happens next week, and then we'll see what happens the week after that. But because we all know how that goes. We saw Lamar last year, for example, come out tearing the world up in the first 8 weeks of the season. We thought he was the greatest player in the world, and everything was going to be roses for that team. Yeah. And everything turned around. And that can happen in any league. This is not for long. But give credit where credit is due. The man is playing good football. You can't ask no more. First we said, well, what happens when he sees adversity? He went down 14-0 to a team that most of the people on this panel said, well, all the people on the panel, except for me, said was going to beat him. So he went down and came,
Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everybody else predicted, except Ken, I think. Ken picked the Eagles.
I picked Eagles by 10.
Yeah, they were down 14-0. So he proved he can come back from adversity. They're proving that they can make things happen. It's just a matter of giving the credit where credit is due. They're the only undefeated team left. You play the games. You got to play those games. You got to win those games. If it was an easy thing, then we have more undefeated teams. We hadn't had one since the Dolphins. And that's because you play the schedule in front of you.
I think that the truth of the matter, let me say that I accept a lot of what you're saying because I think that what regular season and regular. I mean, let me try to shoot him some bail, Ken. Let me try to see what you're coming from too, because I think I agree with you as well. But when it comes to the right now, yes, you can only play who you're playing. Cool. But if we're talking about analysis of the season, analysis of forecasting, it's impossible for us to discount the fact that by the end of the season, like you're saying, after the week happens, we get to the last week, we're going to look at some teams and be like, damn, they didn't make the playoffs. They were bad. And sometimes in every season, when that happens, we can look at multiple teams and be like, well, they did have like 6 wins against some trash-ass teams towards the second half of the year, and they got blown out in the playoffs. Or this team started getting on a roll because they were beating good teams, and we saw how the trends were. So we have to be able to update it as it goes along. So, yeah, we can give credit, but we can also be fair and be like, okay, well, let's actually judge quality of win, and let's debate that and analyze that.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I give both credit. Y'all forgive me, I'm a little hurt today, so I ain't gonna be on too long. But I think that I sat through. Like I said, I was a Panthers fan during that 15-1 run, so I saw it when a team with lesser talent put together wins against teams that people was like, okay, well, these teams they should be beaten. Mm-hmm. But I saw them put together, get on a run, and look impressive doing it with guys like Ted Ginn, who was a cast off and a punt returner, as the leading receiver. So I saw this happen, and it's like, it can be done. It can be done if you believe in your quarterback and the team gets behind him. These players that will go other places and not do so well, they fall in line and they just do their jobs. That's all it's about. No. It's doing your job.
No. Like you're putting Cam Newton, a physical specimen that carried his team to 15-1 in the same category as Jalen Hurts. And that just doesn't make sense. Like the complaints about Jalen Hurts are like, we're looking at this and we see that his skill set isn't as high as most NFL quarterbacks. Now, I'm not knocking his accomplishments, what he's achieved to be 9-0 in the last regular season games. However, when you look at it, you, just like me, because you've been watching football, see that that's below average. Like, what he's doing is below average. He just happens to be on a hell of a football team. He was on a hell of a football team in Oklahoma. He was on a hell of a football team in Alabama. Like, he's made a career of being on great football teams and being a below average quarterback.
So last year, that team that went to the playoffs that we're just dismissing like it meant nothing, that was a hell of a team? Was that a hell of a team last year?
It was a decent team.
Who was the number one receiver on that team? Who was the number one receiver on the team?
Shelton, do you? I know you know this more than I do, but Cam Newton only had 3 winning seasons in Carolina.
Yes. Right.
Damn.
He only has 8. His record is 68-60. So
Yes.
when
So-
you're trying to compare, as talented as Cam was,
But see,
it's not like he was out here just doing
see,
it up.
that's no.
He
No,
had
what
one
I'm-
good. So when you say the team get behind him, I would like to believe a lot of people got behind Cam Newton and they only got him to the Super Bowl 1 year.
Can we all?
Well, see, here's the thing I'm talking about. When I talk about that part, y'all talking about the physical, the physical parts. This game is 60% to 70% mental. You can ask any NFL player, they're gonna tell you this game is more mental than it is.
I know, and
physical.
only got Cam
And
3 winning seasons in 9 years. I think.
because if you notice, and in the true story, if you look at Cam changed. Cam changed who he was. It became more Cam outside of football than it did inside of football. You don't agree? Did you not see the outfits change? That wasn't the same Cam that was winning.
I feel like that you are giving
it means
Hurts
everything.
a whole lot of
It
credit
means
based
everything.
off intangibles.
I'm
Like
giving
based
Jalen
off
Hurts a whole lot of credit
intangibles.
based off the fact that he's 9-0 in his last game. What more credit do you need? What's your quarterback's record? And your quarterback got the money. What's his record?
My quarterback 4-0 in his last 4
Case closed.
starts. Touche, my friend.
So to be
But no, I mean-
so since while we there, let's talk about the Eagles. If Cooper Rush beat the Eagles, is he losing his job? I mean, is he
Hell
keeping
no.
the job over Dak?
Man, to get Dak,
No.
Dak is
Yeah.
fucking done.
Why not?
Dak is-
Shelton, the team believe in him. They're
Y'all
5-0
putting it
with
out,
him.
man. Nah,
They're rallying
yeah,
around
yeah.
him.
You can't do that because that's not, just like the last game they won. What he passed for 185 yards. They winning the games the way they should be winning them. What's happening is it's actually a blessing in disguise for Dallas that got hurt because you're relying on other parts of your game that's your strength, and it's teaching them to play another way. They would have never played that way without Dak being hurt. We still would have never known. We'd still be calling for McCarthy's head. This saved McCarthy's life. Now, when Dak comes back, they just got to do what they've been doing this whole time, and then you add in his ability to pass and do the other things that Dak brings to the table. And then you're going to get a better Dallas team. But that's what you do.
I'm on the fence, honestly, as a Cowboys fan, because on one end, I look at it, do you want Dak coming back against the undefeated Eagles, lose, and for the rest of the season, people be asking for Cooper Rush and it be a distraction?
Man.
Or do you let Cooper Rush play the Eagles, lose, and tell people, hey, we want Dak back. It's time for the starting quarterback to get back. This Cooper Rush thing was fun. So I'm on the fence. I don't know how that will play out.
You know what, Spike, fuck all that, because you all have found y'all young white avatar. Y'all need to take y'all young white avatar and use that white man and get him to the Super Bowl. I have been. Now I'm trying to tell you, y'all, Cooper Rush is him. Like he is the Yodel kid.
Hey, what's crazy? I don't know if y'all saw it, but did y'all see what Zeke was saying, stop playing Dak the man. Zeke was talking all about Dak and all this stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, you talking about Dak keeping his job, you need to be keeping your job. If anybody needs to be talking about that, you need to be talking about getting the ball more to Pollard than anything else.
Shout out to Adrian Wells, who said, "What's good, everyone? How y'all doing? How about them Cowboys?"
Oh yeah, Adrian.
Yo,
calm yourself.
Hey, man. Look, Coop win this game against the undefeated Eagles. There's gonna be some conversations happening. I'm telling y'all right now, because everybody's hyping this and praising this Eagles team and this, that. We talking about a 4-1 team versus a 5-0 team with average to bad quarterbacks.
Yeah. It is possible. Again, I wouldn't advocate for him being in the rest of the season because Dak's way more talented. However, Shelton did hit the nail on the head as far as how they stumbled upon the coaching staff, the offensive coordinators, that this play calling is what's going to work, especially if you got the defensive line playing like that, especially if you playing defense as a whole like that. Run the ball, very few mistakes, no penalties, and let's keep this thing going. I'm just scared they're going to try to put the pedal to the metal when Dak get in there and start throwing the ball 40 times to CeeDee Lamb for some reason in a game, and then we back where we started from and we won.
Dak is not getting back in there. Dak is not getting back in there. Like I don't know why y'all keep acting like this.
They can wait. Truly, they can wait till after the bye. As a fan saying that, they can wait till after the bye week.
After the bye, after he waves bye on the plane, what do you mean? Like, he's not playing again, yo. Like Dak Prescott is never playing in a Dallas Cowboy uniform ever again. He's gonna be in Carolina with Sheldon, eating Bojangles, and writing letters to Jalen Hurts. Like that's what they're gonna be doing.
We the boys said, sorry, Q. Cooper Rush gonna whoop them Eagles.
Wish his ass would. Nah, that's actually, I can see it though. I actually could see that Cowboys defense posing a problem for us because we haven't run into a real defense that's going to actually press our wide receivers at the line yet. For some reason, it's been very awkward these first 5 weeks. I've never seen Eagles wide receivers get free press off the line. That's actually weird. Like,
and I guess this is I don't know how to say this. But he said, shout out to the Eagles going 5-0. They are exceeding expectations and have some future picks, are in a good position. Should the Eagles extend Jalen Hurts and how much?
Yes, you're going to see. I can answer that question. You're going to see his contract be along the lines of what you saw Arizona give Kyler Murray.
Who do you think gonna give him that contract though?
Philadelphia.
He's gonna get a bag though. Like, let's be honest. Like,
that was actually a real question.
I hope he does get paid, and I hope they pay Daniel Jones too. How about that? I pay both of them. Keep both of them long term and let them be the quarterbacks in the NFC East for the next 6 years. I would love that.
Let's talk about that Zeke extension. Let's talk about that Zeke extension real quick. You think so?
Absolutely.
Right. He gonna be right up in that motherfucker eating turkey leg hut. He's gonna be mad as fuck.
Yeah, like again, the best thing about the Giants being 4-1 for me and the Eagles being 5-0, as a Cowboys fan, like you just said, Sheldon, I hope that they make the mistake and they re-sign Daniel Jones to a long-term contract. They re-sign Saquon Barkley to a long-term contract, and they sign Jalen Hurts, like you just said. I would love for that to be the competition in the NFC East for the next 5-6 years. 100%.
I mean, it could. I mean, if they found a way to utilize his skill set and win games, and they could keep this coaching staff in place, I don't think it would hurt to sign him because it's proven productive. I think what they need to see is how productive it will be against better talent and better teams, because that's when we'll truly know how good he is. Because it's easy to whoop up on. I don't care. It's easy to whoop up on sorry teams. It just is. It's just so, and they're sorry for a reason. So, true. So you can't grade those as quality wins. It's just a win. You did what that tells me is that you didn't go out and play down to the level of your competition, and that you're probably just a little bit better than your competition. So, but yeah, just like shit, the fucking Cowboys, like how the hell they winning all these damn games with fucking Cooper Rush? This shit shouldn't be happening at all. Cooper Rush ain't a damn thing, but what he is 4-0, and what he is going to keep Dak as back on the bench, and he gonna lose his job. It's gonna be so fucking hilarious.
Actually, Cooper Rush still operating with some hesitation. That's like, man, I better not do that. I am just a backup. Dak going there, he just balls to the wall, of course, because I just got my money. Ain't nothing y'all gonna do to me anyway. So let's go. So is that there too?
Let's see who did Cooper Rush beat?
Nobody.
The Rams. He beat some players. He beat some
everybody.
The Rams.
Matt Stafford.
He beat the Bengals.
He was.
He beat the Bengals. He beat the Giants. He beat the Rams. And who else? Who's the
Cooper Rush done beat some teams now, man.
The Giants might be a good. I mean, are the Giants really good?
I think they got a great.
No,
the Giants are surprising.
They got
they get great breaks. And Saquon has been playing MVP level football right now.
I thought we was playing who was in front of us, Sheldon. What about what now?
Yeah.
They playing NFL.
I said they got what I said is they got great breaks. I didn't say the schedule was easy.
Mm.
Pay attention to the word, and now you got to
No.
listen to it because what I'm telling you is fact.
But
I
they
said they
4
got great breaks.
4-1. Does that make them a good team though?
Yeah, they're a good team. I mean, no, they don't make it. That makes their record good. That don't make them a good team. I looked at that Tennessee game as a game that they really should have lost. They caught a break. See, y'all saying it like I'm talking about the schedule. That ain't got nothing to do with the schedule. They caught a break because the kicker missed the kick. What was the other game that they played? Let me look at their schedule so I can tell you. Because
they played the Cowboys.
No, they lost that game. I'm talking about the games
lost,
they won. I'm just talking about the games that they won. Wins. Yeah. This Packers win was a good win.
It was.
The Packers win was a good win.
The Giants have good coaches. The Giants are not a good team, y'all.
No, they're not.
No, not at all. And I said that to be sure. Oh, they played the Panthers. They played the Panthers. They played the Panthers and backed into a victory. That lets you know right there. Because playing that Panthers team that was all in disarray. And they beat the Bears, who hadn't been able to pass all year. So, and like I said, they beat the Titans early on, and the Titans missed a couple kicks that they should have won that game.
They beat the Titans the first game of the season. They beat the worst quarterback in the NFL in Baker Mayfield. They beat Green Bay overseas, and
the Bears.
And they beat the Bears, who got a running back, a quarterback.
Yes.
Damn, man.
Gotcha.
Damn.
I mean, that's facts. That's facts. But yeah, and they caught a break with the way, like I said, in some of those games, like even in those games, it wasn't like they were blowouts. You know what I'm saying? Like these games, they were like the Panthers could have won that game. It should have won that game. Titans should have won the game. I watched both those games, and they should have lost both those games. The Packers could have easily won that game. So we could be talking about a 1-4 team instead of a 4-1 team.
True. I to give Brian Daboll credit, I do think like when we were talking about with Nathaniel Hackett in Denver, and the team's picking up your personality. Those games were close, like you're saying, Sheldon. And they may not have a better team, but it sounds so cliche to say, but they fighting in every game. Like they're there, they showing up, they playing like an NFL team when last year that wasn't the case, similar to the Lions this year.
You know what the difference is? They're winning in spite of Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones is not playing well at all.
No, he's not.
In any of these games,
terrible offensive line too.
Yeah, in any of these games, he hadn't played well yet this year.
No, he hasn't.
So Foro Hustle says he thinks Micah Parsons is a top 10 player in the NFL.
Talk about it.
I would have to agree.
Yeah,
I would definitely have to agree.
Moving up that list.
Yes, sir.
I would definitely top 10. You got to put him in top 10 because he affects a lot of scrimmage every play.
He went play for play with Aaron Donald Sunday.
And while I'm gonna read tweets, open doors, super chat since we're on this subject. Who is a good team to y'all, especially in the NFC?
49ers.
NFC East, NFC North. NFC
49ers not 5-0.
They're not. But they passed the eyeball test. Like they don't have to be 5-0. Shit, we talking about the 5-0 team is not the best team. You know, the eyeballs don't say that. Now, my thing is just with the Eagles, and I'm not trying to stay there, but it's just put respect on they beat who they had to beat, and they did it the way that they supposed to as the better team in the matchup.
True. The craziest thing to say about the 49ers and Jimmy G being their quarterback, that he's probably going to be the most reliable in the playoffs of all the other good teams in the NFC.
100%.
He's been there. He's done that. He may not have done it well, but he's been there and done that. Anybody
the moment's not too big.
Anybody other than Brady, like you said, he gonna have that advantage on them, and that goes a little ways in the playoffs. So it's the 49ers, I would say, are the best team in the NFC, and then I think you got a fight for number 2.
Yeah,
because defense travels. What I was gonna say about that, and I would agree with y'all for the most part, except for the fact that the 49ers suffered some injuries this weekend on defense that will set them back, and that could hurt. You lost.
They deep though. Pause.
They are deep, but they lost. What's the dude name? Number 4. I can't think of his name. Anyway, he's out for the season. Bosa got hurt.
Travarius got hurt.
Is that his name?
4?
Yeah.
I think.
They had about. He's gone. I think he had a.
Somebody had like a broken wrist or something.
Yeah, somebody broke the wrist, torn ACL. They have a bunch of players that are going to be down for them. So I hate that going forward because you just figured it out. You know, you're not having to play Debo at running back no more. You figured it out with Mitchell at running back, and then you got Tevin Coleman coming in off the bench playing well. He scored 2 touchdowns. They look good, and it's pretty much falling in line where if you look back at our picks, every pick so far is like I said it would be if you look through the list from top to bottom, and that's NFC and AFC division leaders right now. So in saying it is that.
Is it possible that there's really not that great of a team in the NFC right now? Is there a possibility for that? I'm not really moved by any teams in the NFC so far. Nobody's moving me right now. The Eagles look like they are playing good football. They're building good habits. But to me, I'm not moved by beating the Cardinals. I'm not really moved by the other teams we beat. The 49ers defense is legit, but there are some other teams that also have great defenses out there with spotty QBs and mediocre QBs who can throw 2 picks in a game at any moment like a Jimmy G could, or throw for less than 180 yards like a Jimmy G could, and less than 9 points in a game like a Jimmy G could. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, these are the best team, because nobody has shown me like gargantuan levels of like offensive just juggernaut or just defensive just overpowering consistently every single week. Everybody has had ups and downs. Like the Eagles, they start out great first halves, they triggered off second halves. The 49ers, like I just said, with their QB situation, injuries, like Sheldon said, it's hard for me to really be kind of, I don't see it for the NFC right now. There's going to be a later team.
I kind of feel you on that. I kind of feel you on that when I look at the conference.
Yeah.
It's a lot of frauds.
Uh-huh.
I agree
leading that. It like the teams that we thought were going to be good record wise are not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Like who, Ken? Let's call them out.
The Rams are one.
Yeah.
The Rams are one. They just got smashed.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ken,
they got a lot of issues.
They do.
Ken, take it back, because what did I say about the Rams when y'all called me crazy? So we didn't say that. Y'all said that. I told you the Rams.
What did we say, Shelton? Can you please remind us?
You said the Rams was going to win it, and you said that they were going to do well. And I told you they were not. I told you the Rams were going to show who they really were, and y'all didn't believe me.
I also thought I said I was a little bit concerned about Stafford's arm.
No, you laughed. No, you laughed when I said I was concerned about Stafford's arm.
I could have sworn
you
that
laughed.
I did.
I'll show you the tape, because you laughed.
I know, and I know there's tape with you also saying that arm is a little concerning, and you said, and that's why I think that they're going to struggle.
You said this man was worried about Stafford's arm and not worried about San Francisco. And I said, yes, absolutely. And you laughed.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that I go by I go by the current events and stuff that I see. So if I see a team struggling, which I've started to watch, and I'm watching this team, I was like, they got issues. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. Maybe I didn't say it off rip like you, because you just jumped out the gate. Maybe I just need to see how they play. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with me seeing how
everything wrong with it? Stevie Wonder can say it now. Everybody knows it now. Anybody can say it now. You laughed at it then. That's my point to you. All you doing is don't report the news. I'm
going by the evidence that I see, and I'm trying.
So say I'm sorry. Say I'm sorry. I was wrong then.
You know what? Thank you. HLLVN said, yeah, Ken said he was worried about his arm.
Let's go back and see it. I need to go back and see when Ken said that, because Ken laughed at me. Ken laughed at me.
Detroit was the average quarterback.
Because the elbow, the shit that they were reporting.
Yeah.
He laughed at me.
I may have laughed at you, but that doesn't take away from what I said about when there was concerns about the arm.
No, the concerns were after the fact. I'm telling you, I told you in the beginning that these things were there. I told you in the beginning San Francisco was going to win this division. I told you in the beginning that
all that shit don't fucking matter, bro. What the fuck you want, a cookie? What you want a fucking trophy?
Why don't it matter?
It's just you want a trophy because you said that they were gonna be sucked this year, and I said after I see some evidence, because I go by science, data, and analytics sometimes, that the arm is concerned.
You sound like Nathaniel Hackett.
I don't know what am I supposed to say?
What do you want, man? Hackett right now.
What do you want? I'm sorry we don't have a
I
TikTok
just-
thing where I can put a fucking damn Shelton is the king of takes on here.
I just wanted you to say you were wrong. That's all I wanted. I just wanted you to say you were wrong.
I don't think anybody picked them though. Was his Ken's point? Like we weren't wrong about it. No one was.
No.
committed
They
to
picked them.
At least
No,
I
they
was.
picked them.
I did.
I know
They
I was
picked them.
most committed to the Seahawks. Me and FIFO were talking about the Seahawks. Very.
No. It was definitely unanimous. You said the Seahawks would win 5 or 6 games.
I
That's
said
what
they
you
would be
said.
contenders,
You said they would be the second best team in that division.
which would
Yeah.
be 5 games. I thought everybody else would be
Yeah.
sorry.
And
You
I
said the Rams were gonna win it.
They doing cookie emojis.
But
They giving Sheldon cookies in the chat.
Hey, you know what? Let me emoji. I want cookie emojis from everybody because anybody that laughed, give me my cookie emoji because I want my cookies because you all was wrong and that's all that matters. You're wrong, you're wrong. Say you're wrong.
I was
And
not.
don't be like Nathaniel Hackett trying to pick
I
stuff after
picked the
the game.
49ers to go to the Super Bowl. I
Give my
picked the
cookies.
Niners to go to the Super Bowl. That's
Yeah,
what I
you did.
picked.
Give me
Oh,
all
wait
my
a minute.
cookies.
Hold on.
I want all my cookies.
Hold on. This man spent all of see, we want to talk about motherfuckers wrong. This man spent all of last year just shitting on Stafford, talking
Why
about
we
this,
back
talking
on
about
last
this.
year and I'm still on it.
This man Spike, not only did
And then
he
I
go to
doubled
the Super
down
Bowl
this
and win
year.
it, not only
Then I
he
doubled
had
down this
3
year.
comeback wins in the playoffs and the Super Bowl to win it. That's why
Then I
he's
doubled
upset.
down.
He's upset
No.
that he was wrong.
No.
He want to talk
No,
about people
I
being
doubled-
wrong.
I doubled
last year.
down.
He kept waiting for Stafford to shit the fucking bed all
Stafford
fucking
did
year,
shit the bed.
and all he did was win the
Stafford did
Super
shit the
Bowl.
bed.
Man's happy.
no, he did shit the bed like multiple
He
times.
shit the bed. Thank you. He shit the bed. Most of them didn't Q.
Because
dropped interception.
Because
Hey, but
Multiple-
he still
He
won the
didn't.
game though.
the blown
He still won the
coverage
game.
against Tampa
And
Bay.
for what Shelton was saying that you only play what's in your schedule, and then like Shelton at one point would say, "Hey man, you gotta. What do you do when it counts?" That was one of Shelton's narratives last year.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we would
He
bring
threw-
that up
he threw
in
See, we still talking about last
crucial,
year.
pivotal moments.
Still talking about
What's
last year.
more pivotal and crucial than the playoffs is being able to
Give me
drive
some more
down
cookies.
and put your team in the lead and win the game.
Weird. Super Bowl.
So it is what it is.
Yep. And he, like I said, we saw what happened and we see where we are now. So the Rams,
But
like I
what
said,
does
it's not
it really
there. Like I
matter
told
if
you.
you won the Super Bowl and proved you wrong all year?
Also, so it doesn't matter.
So
it
now
doesn't
you
matter
want to
that I
take credit
doubled
for being
down.
right?
Finally right. It's been a year,
What?
but I always told y'all.
I was right
You
then.
proud
I
of
was
that?
right
Why are
then.
you so proud of that?
No. I was proud of the fact then because if you go back then, like I told you, that defense pushed that Super
Shelton,
Bowl.
did they or did they
You
not
can't
win
give
the
that
Super Bowl?
man
And
all that
did
credit.
Stafford have game-winning drives in the playoffs?
You
Did
can't
that
give that man had points in the games where he gave him
So
the games
yes, the
away
answer
too.
is yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Did that
The
man
man
show up
closed his
when
eyes
the
and threw the
team
ball to
needed him the
Cooper Kupp.
most? He may have fucked up,
man,
but when
look,
they needed him,
fucked
did he
most
or
of
did
them-
he not show up?
Did in every playoff game, did he not almost give it away? Down the stretch,
And
did
right,
Matthew
and
Stafford break?
you know what? And I just said that.
Who
I
said
said yes, he did. But when they needed him the most, and
Who
when he
saved him?
had to overcome his mistakes, did he or did he not do that when the team needed him?
Who saved him? Who saved him?
Did he or do no? I'm talking not just the Super Bowl and all those
Shout out
other
to Aaron
games. Did
Donald.
he or did he not do that?
Shout out to Aaron Donald. And like,
Did he
like
or
I
did
said,
he not do that? Okay, see, you're wrong.
Man,
he is
I
who I
rest my
think
case,
he
Your Honor.
is. No, you can't rest your case talking about last year. We talking about now. You still on last year. The point of the matter is you picked him to win it this year.
I
And
rest
we'll
my
see
case,
where they
Your
end
Honor.
up. We'll see where they end up. Because
And they don't fucking look good. They don't.
right.
There's a lot of problems. McVay looks terrible, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and try to be right over this motherfucking team. It'll fucking, it is what it is. Don't do shit for me.
That's second place though.
But so Nick is here to talk about the Ravens, but I do got a video from him. I think these are, what does this loss against Baltimore say about the Bengals?
Super Bowl
I think you
hangovers
some of this
are
shit.
real. Super Bowl hangovers are abundant.
Mm-hmm.
You think still at this point though?
Yeah.
You said what?
You think still at this point that's what it is?
Yeah, man. I think, like I said, see, this goes back into my Schemers League point, where the NFL for me it can't be judged. To me, you're thinking too small if you think of the NFL as which teams are great, which teams are bad. That's stupid. Like, to me, it all comes down to which team is peaking at the right time, which team has built the correct habits, and which team is primed to strike using that momentum that they've built up when they get to the playoffs. There's certain, and then there's the X factor that you can never account for of the guy that just gets hot at the right moment, where you're like, where did Eli Manning come from? Where did Nick Foles come from? Where, you know what I mean? You can't account for that.
Examples.
Exactly. And I've said it, when I was making fun of Cooper Rush, but the young white avatar point is real, where every single season, I've said it at the beginning of the NFL season this year, every single NFL season, it is a rule of the NFL. There must be some weird miscellaneous white man that comes out of nowhere at the quarterback position, and he has to go on a miraculous run. Case Keenum in Minnesota. You look at Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. You see, like, it happens every single season. Literally, it is every single season they take them to the playoffs. This year, Cooper Rush, it is your turn to wear the young white avatar crown. It is yours. Like, it's him.
Tyler Henry. But let me ask you something, though, Q, on that. When you say Super Bowl hangover, do you mean like they just ain't got into their rhythm for this year, or do you mean like they just caught fire last year? So that was not really necessarily who they are. This is more along the lines of what that team really is.
I think they didn't have any film on how great Joe Burrow was. Imagine not having any film on a generational QB. That's what happens. When you have last year, you're like, oh shit, who's this dude? And then he's one of the best QBs in the league. You drop that type of talent off where you don't have any type of preconceived notion of how to really defend him. You have some idea because of the first season, but that was actually a different Joe. This is one coming out for injury, knows the game a little bit more, but they didn't really take him serious because there was still an air of like a prove it. And even towards the middle of the season, there was still this is a nice story. So you still have like the wool over people's eyes. It's different when guys see Patrick Mahomes coming. They have every single angle, every single inflection voice, every single cadence, every single hand movement he does. They had that down to science. Guys like Joe Burrow, I feel like they were able to take the league by storm while also being worthy of going because of the talent. But we also, need to account for that other side too. No one saw that coming.
I think, Shelton, what you have is the difference in playing a first place schedule and a last place schedule for the Bengals. Now that I've won a Super Bowl and I'm playing other winning teams that know how to win, that won last year, that are coming off a winning season, I really got to show that I'm about that life versus playing losing teams in the last place schedule the following year and being more talented than they are. I kind of disagree with Q in this one. I think that Joe Burrow is that talented to play losing teams and to be able to rise above the crop. I'm not sure yet, though, if he has that ilk to, I'm playing winners now, I got to elevate at a level. I saw it in college, but I don't know if he's ready to do that in the NFL yet.
He's elevated.
But you know what, though? But you know what, though? I can't agree with you on that. And let me tell you why. I say that they're playing the Steelers, who did have a winning record, but they were a down team that they lost to.
Division.
They played the Cowboys. Did the Cowboys have a winning season last year? I'm not being funny. I can't remember. I'm not being funny. I'm just asking.
Who you think won who won that division last year?
Yeah, they did win the division. I'm sorry, I forgot.
You think it was? Did Jalen Hurts, did the team get behind him and he won that division for them last year? Is that what happened?
No, they didn't. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And then you got
they playing the first place. They playing other first place teams.
But I'm saying they played the Jets, and then they played the Dolphins, who didn't have a winning record last year. And then they played the Ravens. So they haven't played that hard of a schedule. I don't think, though. Do you think the schedule is that hard?
I do. I think they had a hard schedule coming out the gate. The Dolphins are a good team. The Jets aren't good. You're right. Cowboys are good.
The Jets are talented.
The Cowboys, the Jets are talented. The Cowboys won their division. They're a good team. And who was the other team that you just said? The Steelers are in their division. That's always going to be a tough game.
Yeah,
Ravens
are always going to be a tough game.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, I guess looking at the three non-conference. I mean, the conference.
Only the Jets aren't good.
And Devontae said this was the weak part of the schedule too. So
that's what I was right. I was going to agree with that part. I wasn't saying that they had an easy schedule or nothing like that. What I was saying was it's harder later. This early part, I would have picked them to win most of these games. So that's why I asked you.
Good. Okay. To clarify, then I think it's different from what it was last year when they were on fire. Now they're coming out the gate, and the expectation they are the hunted versus hunting. Like now,
Right.
Jamar Chase not a rookie. Now Joe Burrow, like y'all said, the tape is there, so they're in a different position, and that mentality has to catch up to the football team. I don't think that mentality is caught up to the football team yet. Hence the struggle in the beginning because they're playing teams who are aiming to get them versus vice versa.
Well, we don't know what would happen in that game if Zach Taylor would have made some better decisions.
Oh my God.
That's
with Nick here.
That's what I was gonna say too. I think now we're getting to see the true Zach Taylor, and we're getting to see some of these other guys getting exposed, Eli Apple and some of those guys on the back end. You know, that team had a lot of weaknesses, but they rode the back of Joe Burrow on a strong run.
You said this a little bit in the beginning, Ken. I'd like to know what y'all think. Like, is it truly like coaching is getting that bad, or is it just because we have more people breaking that, like podcasts, more TV shows, and you're critical of more decisions? Or is coaching really gotten that bad? Because it looks awful. Like, you're sitting there looking at it now, you're like, bro, what is he doing? But is that just because we're accustomed to so much analyst on it now?
Nah, coaching is that bad because we see what good coaching looks like. And we've seen a lot of good coaching. Andy Reid has been around how long? With Belichick, you know, Mike Tomlin. We see what
they raised the bar.
Exactly.
So now people that ain't meeting that makes sense.
Exactly. So we know what it looks like to make the right decisions in critical situations, and we know what it looks like when you don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I actually think a lot of coaches are just arrogant, Spike.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
All right, well, we're going to get into the weekly picks, and then we're going to get into our top 5 positions when it comes to basketball. So we're going to have some hoop talk this evening. And then, but before we do that, I definitely want to hit some of these super chats that are related to football before we transition out of that. Shelton, right on time, man. Josh Bros, damn, I'm disappointed Shelton ain't here, as I'm here for my weekly Jets update. It might not be for real, but we're the 5th seed right now, and Zach has had a turnover in 6 of his last 7 games.
Man, they are impressive. They're winning these games. That's all you can say.
That ain't what he
I
wanted.
still don't like
God,
the
that ain't what he said.
I ain't sound like Shelton.
Shelton remembered everything he said earlier.
Now it's
Hey, listen.
So he got to cover himself.
The Jets are who we think they are. Like I said, I watched that game too. The running backs ran good, and Zach ain't had to have no turnovers because he didn't throw the ball. What, he had 100 and something yards too?
Scheme.
Yeah, they ran. They were on old boy's back.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Let's see how many yards.
He's trying to talk his way around it. We're gonna go to the next quick one from Josh.
200, 14 for 21 for 210 yards. You completed 14 passes. There's no turnovers there.
You won the game.
Beat
Yeah,
him
he
in
did. Brees Hall.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Hey, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Brees Hall had 200 yards of offense. Brees Hall won that game, not Zach Wilson.
You only got to win the game when he on the right side of it.
Hey, listen.
Any other time it don't matter. Josh Rose. It don't seem like it. Speaking from experience, as the Bears being my NFC team, the argument people make for Wentz, Winston, Carr, etc., all remind me of what I used to do for Cutler. At some point, they are who they are. True.
Facts.
Yep, this is true.
That's a good point, Josh.
Yep. I'm not saying Josh Rose again. I'm not saying he's a bust, but from the hype before he was drafted compared to the production we've seen in 22 games, Trevor Lawrence is underperforming.
Y'all called it. Nick, y'all called that at the beginning of the season. I give y'all that. I think he started strong, but I'm not sure if he may not be golden boy now because he got a good coach there. They got talent. And they showed those first 2 games that they could figure out how to win, but he still ain't popping off the field like he should be.
Trevor Lawrence is ass.
Oh,
let's just get it out here. Let's just get out there and say it, man. Trevor Lawrence is trash. He's fucking trash.
Who's the number 1 guy?
I don't even know that dude's
Christian
name.
Kirk.
He's not really a number 1. They pay that man a lot of money.
Nowhere.
I'm still not willing to give up on him yet. Because that rookie season was not all him. You know what I'm saying? So he needs at least 1 year before. Like, I got to see him play out this year. We'll see how he comes out next year before I call him a bust.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
next game.
Say what?
No, I'm just gonna say this next game is gonna tell the story because he's on the road against the Colts. The Texans could have been a trap game where he wasn't
Zay Jones ain't
quite
number one,
dialed in.
Marvin Jones Jr.
No,
Yeah.
no, he just had a good game. He's not their number one.
No, he's not. I was definitely looking this way, but I decided to definitely extend him some grace. You guys made a good case about Urban Meyer versus, Doug Peterson. So, I said, all right, we'll see what he does this year. So, this is the year, and we'll see what happens. So,
how many games did we say he had to win? We put a number on him.
I think we were looking at 7.
Yeah, at least half.
Seven
8,
was
6 to 7, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, 7
So-
was his
between
okay.
7 and 9, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tracy G. Should the Panthers have fired the coach or gotten rid of Mayfield?
Both.
Yes.
Yeah, they can do both. Like, why stop at one?
Yeah, the answer is yes.
You know,
Yes.
What
Yeah.
came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yes.
Like trade McCaffrey, get rid of all your assets, and just
Oh,
start over, bro.
the McCaffrey trade is coming. You can look
Burn
forward
that shit
to
up.
McCaffrey being a Buffalo Bills before it's all over with.
If I'm the Rams,
Yeah.
I would try to get McCaffrey.
He'll
I
be in
think there's a
Buffalo.
lot of teams at the top. I think the Chiefs should try to go get him. The Rams is a good pick.
Yeah.
The Bills is another good pick.
Yeah.
Damn, who else is up there really trying to compete?
Baltimore
You know who would love him?
might like him.
Tom Brady would love Christian McCaffrey.
Oh my God, yeah. Tampa Bay would love him. They can't pay him before that.
Nah.
But they're not going to trade him within the same division. They should trade him wherever they get the highest bidder. But like I said, I expect him
San
to be a
Francisco
Buffalo
with
Bill
Debo.
before it's all. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and they have relationships with Buffalo. Buffalo and Carolina share a lot of the same people. Buffalo's people is basically the people that came from Carolina, so they kind of deal with each other on hand. Only thing I was kind of the only.
What would you need back from McCaffrey? If you would have,
you're gonna get 2 first-round picks.
What?
Hell no.
You
get a
That's what the deal is.
world, bro.
You'll get a 4th round
You
pick.
might get a third.
The deals are gonna be 2 number ones. Just watch.
No, it's not. That's
It's
not.
gonna be. It's gonna be.
I'm not saying that y'all. Listen, I'm not saying that that's what I say you should get. That's what the market is going to dictate.
I bet you the market.
No.
I bet you that market goes and reevaluates and come right back and say, "Let me get a 4th round and a rotation play."
You could be lucky to get out of there with a 3rd round pick for dude.
You know what I'm saying,
Look,
like, I mean,
Like,
hey man,
it's highway robbery if you give a 3rd right. If you can get him for a 3, like that,
give me
right there.
give me a 4 and like a decent rotation guy on like in my secondary or my
Or that.
D line or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's going to be 2. It's going to be 2 number ones.
Hell no,
No, it's not.
Jalen
Probably,
gotta
I
look
know
at-
it. I don't know
What
what
did
it's going to be. but
what
I
did
know
Jalen
it's not
Ramsey
gonna
go?
be number one.
What
It
did
ain't even going to be a number one.
You're gonna the impact of that player when he's healthy is tremendous. His upside
Let
is
me ask
way
you
up
this.
there.
He's
Let me
never
ask you
healthy
this.
though.
Let me ask you this:
That's based
what
on
running
weight.
backs are going in the 1st round? Who's giving up a 1st round pick for a running back? They don't even pick running backs in the 1st round.
For a proven player that will be a difference maker on a team like Buffalo.
Availability is the
because
best
now-
ability.
Because now, as a
proven
proven
what?
player, now he got mileage on him. If I'm going to give up a number 1, I'm going to take a college running back. I would never give up
Hold
a
on,
number 1
hold on.
for a running back that has injury history and mileage. That ain't going to happen.
We over here speaking Klingon because I don't remember when the fuck has Christian McCaffrey accomplished anything? What has he accomplished?
He was
Being
at
a
one point,
fantasy player.
Being
Well,
a
at one
white
point, he
running
was-
back.
White running back.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's the biggest.
Being a
thing.
good
At one
white
point, he
running
was-
back is his biggest accomplishment.
But at one point, he led the league in all-purpose yards. A couple of years he did. Now, once again, that's revisionist history. It is what it is, and I'm not saying I agree he's worth that. I just think that that's what they're gonna get for him.
You said they gonna get that. You agree?
They gonna get
Yeah.
2 first round. You think
So you
Christian?
agree?
No. You think Christian McCaffrey, a running back, is gonna get 2 first round picks in 2022?
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, Jalen Ramsey ain't even get that, dude.
You won't even look at the camera when you say that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Yes.
You can't even
That's
look
what I'm
us in
saying.
the eyes and say that. You had to look
Christian
all
But
the way
I'm
over
saying,
to the side over there.
once again, don't get it confused. I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying word on the street. They're gonna get two
Said,
first.
yeah.
That's
No. I didn't say I agreed. I said no. I
Oh.
don't. I didn't
You
say I
wouldn't
agreed.
give up two
No.
number ones for him.
No. I'm
Okay.
not saying I
That's how
agree
you
with
do
this.
it, man.
I'm saying
You know.
no. That ain't how I do.
You really, I know
telling
you new here, so you got to use this.
Oh my
easy
God!
to
What did I
he
just
said.
say?
He said he
What did I
doesn't
say?
agree with
Right.
doing it, but he believes that that's the market
That's
value
what's
for
gonna
it.
happen. That's what they're
You
gonna
said
do.
it's gonna happen.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Yes.
I
The
completely.
fact is,
and-
whether you agree or not, or is what you're saying is really the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. That's really true. So we'll see
you
if I'm
don't be
right.
like we agree that's if that were to happen, that would be like ludicrous, and like somebody would have to be
Yeah.
fired for that. Like somebody would have
No,
to.
Good
get
question.
you know what? No,
Good question,
I would just say that that's what it is.
fired.
So you agree?
That makes no sense because if
Once again, I wouldn't make the trade. I wouldn't make the trade for
But
that.
you would
if I'm the GM, I wouldn't do it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. It's gonna happen, I think.
And
Just
like
wait.
we can definitely move on after this. But I'm saying, Sheldon, if your next door neighbor was selling their house and you knew that it was only a certain value, everyone to the outside who went to buy the house was like, "Oh, this house is amazing." You know what I mean? Blah blah blah. But you know the bullshit that comes with buying that house, creaky, blah blah blah.
But listen,
but everyone goes and buys it. You will be like, "That's not worth that. Hey, bro, you shouldn't buy it for that. You can negotiate down." That's what Christian McCaffrey is. He's a luxury thing, but you can negotiate that down to a 4th round pick. There's no way.
Let me ask you this. But let me ask you this though. The thing about it is, for a team like Buffalo, what are they missing? What does Buffalo need?
I think their number one is they need a tight end.
Well, Knox is a good tight end. I wouldn't say that's their number one. Their number one is a running back. They have no running game whatsoever. They have no running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. They have no running back that's ever done anything. So if you're one player away, you're going to do whatever you got to do to beat these other teams to get that player. If you look at a team like Buffalo, they are one player from being that team.
Nah.
OJ.
But McCaffrey's not that player, though. Like, even like if I wanted a running back that could catch the ball out of the backfield, I would just sign a free agent. Buffalo doesn't get in the position that they're in by having their roster by giving away 1st-round picks. Like
Carolina is in no position, Spike.
There's no smart NFL team that's giving up 2 1st-round picks for McCaffrey. It's just not.
Well, let's just watch and see what happens over the next week.
Okay, right.
And we'll revisit this.
Carolina,
I promise you.
Spike, me and you both know Carolina is in no position to be caught. I need 2 of them things. What?
Right, like, come on, bro.
Dude, you just
Hey, Rob, I'm looking for your member comment. I cannot find it. So you just type it in there, man. Let me know. I'll read it. All right, so that's that. And last one for Tracy G. It's kind of a 2-parter. Bears should trade for Carr, and Portland need to tank for that Victor French guy. You two were talking about him.
Yeah,
earlier.
Victor Wembanyama.
Are we gonna
Hey, shit.
The simulation. That's what that should be. That should be his nickname. The simulation.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because that
Dirty
dude,
here on Dead End First. The
Nah,
simulation.
bro, we gonna call him the metaverse.
It's anything that got to do with that real.
Yep.
Metaverse, the simulation, whatever. But Carr going to the Bears, I mean, what does that do?
Nothing.
Yeah, like
Nothing.
Putting the Band-Aid over a boat.
I already said a couple weeks ago, get rid of Roquan. Everybody not named Justin Fields, sit Justin Fields down for the second half of the season and just be like, look, we're going to draft everything.
Yeah, we're going to start over. We're going to bring in a great GM, a good team builder, and we're going to build around Justin Fields. That's their best bet. They don't need to trade for a quarterback. They need to build around the one that they have because he's got talent.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, salute to y'all, but because I will probably never be able to say that name. But yeah. All right, so I'm about to drop the link to the picks this week, and go through the weekly picks real quick. So let's see. Let me do this real quick. Let me pull it up real quick. See where we are. Ant-Man, yeah, I'll hook you up, bro. Just give me a sec. Yeah, Rob said with you, Shelton, Matt Rule's firing is good for my mental health.
I think it's good for everybody, but that's only one step in the process. They got a long way to go. I just hate
That's
that they
good.
bringing in.
I would never get another job, bro.
Who,
He
him?
good. They get 20 million.
Hell no.
Was it
Oh,
40?
I think as long as he's not working, they owe him.
40.
Oh.
Yeah, as long as he's not working, he's gonna get $848,000 a month until he gets $40 million is what he gets without a job. But if he gets another job, it's subtracting that from whatever. That's why, like I said, that's why they let him go so early, so he could get another college job.
Now, we're gonna take another job tomorrow. He loves.
Yeah, he's gonna definitely take.
He can tell like the type of dude he is.
He's definitely gonna take another job. The only thing that I hate is that I told y'all Steve Wilkes was gonna be named the interim, and it's not gonna look good. Like I don't know how it's gonna look for him. You know, Steve Wilkes is a black coach, of course. So now you got a black coach, and then you bring in now you're gonna PJ Walker playing quarterback. So you got a black quarterback and black coach in Carolina.
PJ Walker. They bench him Mayfield.
He hurt.
He's hurt.
High ankle sprain, so he out for a couple of weeks.
It's a
Yeah,
wrap.
he's out 2 to 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
So it's saying that
Going to winning streak now.
you know it's crazy. It's like I do too. I'm not going back to the Panthers, but I just don't want the black man to lose. I can't root against him. I want Steve Wilkes to get a job somewhere.
So weekly picks update. Shelton, you are 22-13. I am 19-16. FIFO, you're 20-15. Spike Lou, 17-18. And Nick is 15-19. Nick with 3-3. Spike, you went perfect last week, bro. 6-0, yeah. FIFO 5-1, and Shelton and I were 4-2. So yep. So there we are. So for this week, we have the Ravens versus the Giants. I am going Ravens.
Baltimore, yes.
I too am going Baltimore.
Giants. Giants by 7.
Okay. All right.
Q, you play.
Did Nick send in his picks?
He did. I'm trying to find
Dead
him.
ass.
Closer to the bottom, I think. Well,
Dead ass.
Yeah, he had him on here. I saw him. But I can't find him now. Cowboys versus Eagles. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, Nick's going with the Giants. He added him to the list here. He's going with the Giants.
Cowboys.
Giants. Eagles. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking about.
The whole NFC East.
Give me them Eagles.
Cowboys. All right.
And Nick took the Eagles.
Yeah, Nick took the Eagles. Right?
Damn. Hold on, I'm gonna have to switch. He got the worst record doing this right here. You can't trust that man pick. I've been trying to tell y'all. Y'all can't trust Nick. Nah, but I'm gonna stick with the Eagles.
All right, Bengals versus Saints. We already know Nick got Cincinnati.
Saints.
Wow, Saints.
Where they playing?
New Orleans. Who you got, Shelton? Oh, I thought you picked. My bad.
I didn't yet.
I don't even know why y'all. This is hard for anyone. What are y'all looking at?
This is hard.
Why?
Because I like the Saints defense.
Okay.
And Burrow is
Jameis Winston
You
back?
said they're in New Orleans?
Dalton playing.
Oh, Andy Dalton.
Are they in New Orleans?
Yeah, New Orleans.
Nah, I'm sticking with my Cincinnati.
I'm going Cincy. Just because of Joe Cool.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get back on track this week. Like, I think they
need
look like
to.
the
They'll
big
be 3-3.
last year.
They'll be
They
3.
need
This is a
to.
must win. This is a must win for them.
Yeah.
So give me the Bengals. That's one I'm not too confident in.
Damn, we all picking the Bengals. That's not good. Bills versus Chiefs.
Ooh-wee, that's it right here. Game of the week.
Where they playing?
Man, Chiefs.
Where they playing?
Kansas City.
It's a night game.
That gotta
Should
be the
be.
Sunday night game.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night or Monday night game. It's Monday night.
I think the Chiefs.
I think
the Chiefs win this one pretty handily, actually.
Yeah, hey, you know what?
Chiefs.
This one about to be damn near 60 each team. Watch. Watch.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is the 425 game.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird. That is weird.
Yeah. Chiefs.
The
425
night game, Cowboys Eagles.
Okay.
Chiefs gonna win by like 10 or something. Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Who did Nick pick?
Kansas.
Give me Buffalo.
Damn.
Hold on. I gotta feel this one. This one not coming to me.
Say Josh Allen trick y'all, man.
They're gonna be on a mission, man. They lost for
Who you got, Shelton?
The Chiefs.
I'm going KC too.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs, bro.
It's hard to pick Patrick Mahomes in any situation.
This one will be tough.
Damn, man.
This one's tough.
Allen want this one though.
Sure do, boy. Them 14. What was it? 12 seconds.
But see, the thing about the difference is they can match them. They can match them though. Other teams have trouble sticking with Buffalo. Kansas City can match them point for point. So that's why if one of them gonna nut up, it'll be Allen before.
Two more
Chargers
versus the Broncos.
That's easy.
I'm going Chargers.
Chargers, and I know Nick picked the Broncos. Did he?
I'm gonna go Broncos.
Hey, until they fire Hackett, I ain't picking the Broncos no more.
Nick actually picked the Chargers.
I'm going Chargers. I ain't picking with Nick.
Oh, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do
I'm
it.
gonna go Broncos.
Eckler gonna have 2 touchdowns.
If anybody can undercoach Hackett, though, it's Staley.
Bro,
If anybody can,
they were calling him out for his shit last week.
He bad.
Yeah, he almost cost them that game. Did you see where Keenan Allen was at home and was like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, if anybody like him, Zach Ty, they bad.
I've watched it. He concerns me.
Yeah, he very scared.
Man, these dudes are making Mike McCarthy look like a genius right now.
That's true.
That's saying a lot.
That's rough right there.
Last one, Niners, Falcons.
Oh shit,
Niners
all day. Like, why were you picking that?
That was tough. People ain't gonna say.
I might go with the Falcons. Hold up.
People, them dudes playing hard, man.
I'm not saying they not.
Yeah, but they not gonna beat the Falcons.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
Mariota against that defense?
No. I'll go with the Falcons.
Yeah, give me San Francisco, but dang, that's not as.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be
a
good game.
It's gonna be that easy.
I don't think so.
It's gonna be a good game. I'll tell you that.
Though.
No. I'm just saying they playing hard. They're playing hard every game. They're showing up every week.
Yeah, they do.
They losing every week, but they're showing up.
Yeah.
So who you got?
Oh, the 49ers.
Niggas think I hate him.
Yeah, next week he gonna say, "I told you we let the Falcons win. I told y'all they play hard. I told you, didn't I? Run the tape back."
Starting to pick it up, huh, Lou?
I'm getting it. I'm getting what you're putting down. That show.
Hey, all I know is I'm in first place on them picks. So that's what you put. That's what you get, right? And everything I done said, you said was a jinx. Happened, didn't it? Put that down. Hey, get my cookies. Put my cookies back in the chat.
I'll put the cookies in.
Put my cookies back.
Bro, Sheldon's been wrong so many goddamn times on this show, bro. All he does is hedge his bet. All he does is
read them stats. Read them stats again for me one time. Tell me the records right now. The records. What's the records right now?
Did you win last year?
Yeah. What's the record?
Okay. 22 and something.
Okay. Who in first place? That's all I want to know. I rest my case, Your Honor. Go ahead.
Oh wow.
That's all that matters.
All right now.
All right.
As long as you right more than you wrong, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, you 22 and 13. Shit, I'm not even good at this game, and I'm right.
Hey, no, who winning in fantasy football too?
You 5-0. Yeah, but I think that's about to change though, bro.
Yeah, I saw you put some numbers up this week.
I put numbers up every week. My record is not indicative of how good my team is.
You got a good team,
now. 5-0. That's good. Yeah.
I beat Nick this week. That's why he ain't on here.
But I won it all last year though, with the pretty subpar record, by the way. Anyway, man, let's get into this basketball stuff. Before I get into, I don't even know where I want to start. Let me start with the Draymond thing because I know some people asking. At this point, is the media overhyping this whole Draymond Poole practice fight?
No. Because look, at the end of the day, Ken, right? You made a previous point of with new information, you may change your mind and your opinion on something, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the way that it was presented to us, and I think it's words and video or pictures it's completely different. And I think that people reported it pretty accurately, but it's different when you see it. And the way the words had in my mind picturing it is because I've been in locker rooms, so I understand how you can get in somebody's grill, a teammate, and there's pushing, and then it gets escalated, and people, separate you. It is what it is. You might jaw, but you homies, you brothers, you dap it up. It's good. This shit went from 0 to 20 to 150 too damn fast, and to me, that was some real sucker shit. And I feel
Draymond's part?
Yes. I feel like, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the hell Jordan Poole is saying. To escalate it to that, to like a straight, like, bro, you wouldn't do that to a dude during the NBA game. Right. How you doing it to your teammate? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some real sucker stuff, man. Because again, I'm not against the tussle, and the way I thought it happened was that there was a tussle, had to be separated. Draymond connected over the top or something. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's more acceptable. This was like, I don't know you, and you done said something I don't like.
Yeah, you disrespected me, or you owe me some money. You slept with my girl, and I'm not saying any of that happened, but that was the point.
That's how.
That's what that's reserved for. Like,
you know what I'm saying? So like that is not cool. And I think that now that the video was leaked, that the media is not overreacting.
And to add on to that, also, I think one thing that Kevon Looney said during the press conference, I think it was either today or yesterday, only gives credence to the fact that it's not overblown. This is a very serious matter because this is deeper than basketball. This is, as a man, I felt as though you crossed the line where you were intentionally trying to harm me in like an actual like man-to-man realm. This wasn't just some sports aggression. This wasn't just like Chris Paul and Rondo when they was in center court, Lakers Rockets, and Rondo and CP, one spits on each other and dudes smack each other. It wasn't that. It was like what FIFA says. We see from the footage that Draymond hears something that Poole says, walks up to him, Poole pushes him away. Right then and there, if you're the leader of the team, if you're going, like push back, cool. But for him to then step away and think about it for a second, like if you give it a second, you really see him just ponder, like he says something and then he says, hold on, and then takes off with the punch and then holds him up. The thing that's so weird about that is Kevon Looney says, it's going to take some time for him to earn that trust back from guys that look up to him, like the rookies and the young dudes. And that's real shit because there's multiple layers in that video. If you look at it, one thing I'm passing to Spike, I don't know if y'all noticed it, but I took something from it, the fact that only one person walked over when Draymond walked over to Jordan Poole, and that was that white coach. I don't even know his name. Just probably some shooting coach. No one said Steph didn't step in. Kuminga didn't step in. No one said, all right, come on, Dre, let's do it. All right, come on, y'all. They just all let him walk right up to him and boom.
But you know what, though? But I think that speaks to nobody really thinking what was being said would escalate to that outside of that coach. Because think about it. Hold on, Steph wasn't in the viewpoint, like he had his back to that. So if he's just listening to what's happening and he's not reacting, two things that can be true. I think one of them is everybody's just numb to how Draymond talks and how he responds, and it is what it is. And I think the other thing is maybe what was being said wasn't spicy enough to escalate to that punch in the way that it did.
I'm kind of reading that a different way, FIFO.
Okay.
I'm reading it like what Q was saying. I see Steph in that video. I see other people in that video. Noticeably, the white guy jumped in and stopped it or whatnot. They clearly hear them talking. And like you said, no one's really responding. And in my opinion, it looks like no one responded because they may have been tired of this shit too. And out of peripherals, looking at people see Draymond walking over there like it wasn't a blind walk, like nobody, he just didn't pop up on him. People see him getting over there, and that's the role that Draymond Green plays on this team. I feel like it looked like it was some back channeling in the locker room. Man, this nigga talking about his extension so much, he doing too much. We all tired of hearing his mouth. And now in practice, it's going and it's going and it's going. And they see Draymond creeping over. They're like, yes, finally, he finna do something about it. But they weren't expecting a knockout punch. They probably, like you said, FIFO, a little grab up, a little show him, hey, man, like, this ain't what you want to do. I'm still the leader of the team. I'm still the big dog. And you've been yapping a lot lately. That's the reason I think no one in the video was really quick to act, because they kind of wanted Jalen Poole to get some straightening in him, but they didn't expect the video to get out, and they didn't expect him to get straightened like that. Like, they didn't know Draymond was going to go Saginaw, Michigan on him. They thought he was seasoned enough now to just like, hey, little dude, sit down here. But
I think it's pretty bad. And once I saw what you saw, Q, as well, what Kevin Looney said, that told me how bad it really was, what he did. Because normally, like, they do like, oh, it's just some locker room thing, we're gonna handle it, blah blah blah. He was like, nah, bro. he gonna have to earn his trust back. They ain't say anything about Jordan Poole, you know, and Jordan Poole was supposed to be the antagonist here, but you know, Draymond is the one that's you know, taking the fall for it. Two comments from Tracy G. Is Draymond gone from the Warriors, and is the Warriors like good riddance?
See, this is where I think this should get deep. It's deeper than rap. This shit is deeper than rap. So when it comes to this video getting out, I think the Warriors put this shit out. I don't believe none of this. There's a person behind this. No, y'all are trying to decrease Draymond's value because y'all not trying to pay that $140 million extension. Y'all trying to get really more 2-3 years, 72, 60-something million, 80 million, because y'all think, Draymond, you're a great player. But Jordan Poole got potential to be the next Flash Bro. And if you are the front office of the Warriors, the best way for you to decrease Draymond's value is to use this scenario to the best of his advantage. And it's very curious to me that Steve Kerr comes out and directly disputes everything Spike's. I'm not even saying Spike's wrong, but Steve Kerr disputed it publicly, saying that he's not talking about his extension. He's been a model citizen. But isn't that what you would say if you were trying to keep everything in-house, if you were a company man like Steve Kerr and Bob Myers or whatnot? You're trying to play both sides of Draymond, just be a good soldier, but you're asking for too much. Put the video out. Other teams don't want that headache. Who else is he really valuable to? Maybe the Lakers, maybe another contending team, but there's not more than 5 teams that Draymond can get crazy money from. So now you are able to discipline him in the media, and you're able to make a big thing out of it and say, Draymond, you can stay here. And you know what I mean, and be a part of this nucleus still and win rings, or you can go test your market with the Lakers and blah blah blah. That's what I think is happening.
FIFO, I got a question. Would you trade Draymond for John Collins?
I sure fucking would. I was just talking about this type of trade with one of my boys at the job, because Draymond.
If I'm the Hawks, I wouldn't do that.
I would do that.
Really?
So yeah. Let me explain. Draymond's value does not fit on a bunch of teams. I heard the Lakers. LeBron needs the ball. LeBron does what Draymond does, so I don't need Draymond. But when you look at the way that the Hawks are constructed, what's their identity?
The shooters.
Bombs away.
Yeah. They don't have a tough guy on that roster.
It's supposed to be John Collins,
right? Or it should be just naturally. But Okongwu is a nice defensive guy, but he's not an enforcer. Who's their starting?
15. I can't think his name.
The big guy. Who's the Hawks starting
golden
center?
hair patch guy. I can't. Capella.
Clint Capella.
Yeah, Clint Capella.
He's a defensive guy, but he's not an enforcer. Outside of getting DeJounte Murray now, who is another playmaker on that team, right? What Draymond brings to the table can be replaced by the 20 points that, or close to 20 that John Collins gives you, because now you're better defensively, less possessions. The opponent's 3-point shooting percentage goes down. Draymond could play in and out.
If I'm the Warriors, I agree. But if I'm the Hawks, I'm not overpaying for that.
I'm not overpaying for that, but he's more. I'd rather pay him John Collins money.
True. But he ain't gonna take that.
What do you mean? John Collins got a max extension.
But John Collins is also younger too.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I wouldn't pay him more than what I've paid John Collins because he's worth John Collins.
Fair. Gotcha. I was confused. I thought you were
and that's all I'm saying.
Bringing him in at a bigger.
No, not more than John. But if we could work out, a sign and trade type of situation where
it's the same thing,
the same, 100%, because now he gives them a tough guy. Look, you got to go through Milwaukee, Boston, and Miami.
If I got him with Trey in the playoffs, it gives me a little more confidence when I'm facing the tough guys like Jimmy Butler, like
100%.
I agree. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like Atlanta doesn't have
the next 2 years while our window is open too.
Exactly, because this is their window. Yeah. Now, obviously, they've decided, okay, DeAndre Hunter, that's our guy, because they got rid of Kevin Huerter, they got rid of Cam Reddish, so you're our guy. Obviously, DeJounte and Trey, you guys are the backcourt of the future. But outside of those two guys, who's another playmaker? They don't have it. And that was part of the Hawks' problem. When Trey went to the bench, they look like a lottery team. But now what that does, it frees up Trey to be more dynamic, the same way Steph is off the ball. He's gravity. You know what I'm saying? And Draymond, in my opinion, with the DHOs, he's the smartest guy with the DHOs. So, in my opinion, Atlanta's one of the few teams that I would say pay Draymond. Few teams. But yes, to answer your question, Shelton, I know I went around.
Was this enough to get him out of town, though? Do you think that would really make a commitment to do that?
Here's the thing. And I'm gonna talk about a couple of different things here, but here's the thing. The Warriors and the owner, I agree with what he said a couple of weeks ago, if not like a month or so ago, where he said, why should we get penalized for drafting our guys? I don't think drafted players should count against the luxury tax when you pay them, because you drafted them. You trade for guys, you make all these moves and shit. That's different. You paid this guy, then you should pay the tax. But we homegrown these guys. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to keep them. With that being said, Draymond's time is up. As great as he is, and as much as he's been the enforcer and the voice of reason and the glue, it's time to go. Why? Because what are you going to do with Wiggins? Wiggins is up too. Moody is going to need bread. Jordan Poole's up too. Kuminga is going to be up. Wiseman is going to be up. You got to make hard and tough decisions, and you're going to have to pay a lot of people because you drafted very well. And that's going to be one of those things where if I'm not picking Draymond 2-3 years from now over Wiseman.
So what if Draymond says, especially now since he holds no leverage with the tape being out there, and that goes to your point, Q, what if he says, you know what, pay me what you can. I'm just here to be at Golden State. I made my money in the last contract.
Take the veterans minimum or mid-level.
What if he says yes?
Shit, then bring him back. Because the mid-level exceptions. So the reason why I bring those two things up, a mid-level exception allows you to sign a person for that contract and still go over the salary cap to sign the guys that you got. So okay, cool. I don't have to, give you up and give nobody else up. And then at a veteran's minimum, you could always sign a veteran minimum. So you damn right. If you're willing to make that type of exception, you damn
right. I think that would go to Q's point as far as if we want to keep him around and don't want to pay him, then let this video get out here, because how else does it get out?
So Tracy G says, seeing the stuff Poole said to Draymond, he should have been ready for that TKO. And then to what you guys are discussing now from BL is Dre on Golden State roster this time next year.
I think the expectation part is Poole's from a different generation. I was having this conversation with someone. I think all of us are near the same age. There's a generation after us. No offense, I don't know how cold Q is, but we had to have an expectation of like, you may get hit in your mouth. You have a conversation like there's a general expectation of people our age from that because it happened. I don't think that the younger generation has that expectation. Like, you're free to tweet as you will. I can make a video at any point in time. I'm coming at my ops. You 1,000 miles away, but I can say whatever I want. No, as a man, sometimes you got to operate with the assumption I might get hit in my mouth for this, and you got to be prepared for that. And he wasn't. So,
well, yeah, I think it goes to the. I think that's a true statement, but I think it's more so about the generational divide between basketball and just more so sports in general, because the 90s athlete, the early 2000s athlete, the mid 2000s athlete, the early 2010s athlete, now we're in the 2020s, right? These multiple generations have passed, and just different practices and just certain norms of how to conduct yourself in AAU circuits, or when you're in Pee Wee, or when you're, playing club teams, or when you're in college, when you're in practice. Certain things just went. In the 80s, guys could fight at practice all day, but nowadays it's different. Certain teams are not built like that. Certain guys' personality is just, oh, that's my bro. We're gonna go play Fortnite, but we had an argument on the court. You know what I mean? Dudes can sub each other like DeJounte Murray and Paolo Banchero for a week on Instagram, and then dap up a week later. You know what I mean? So Draymond and Jordan Poole is definitely that generational divide between, I think, Gen Z and millennial or elder millennials and whatnot. The guy who says, "Man, that's why you triple single. All the girls don't like you." And what you say? Man, shush. You know what I'm saying? And we said, man, you know what I'm saying? And it just took off on him. So, hey, man, step back next time. You know what I mean? You got to
at least put them up, right? Like, at least get them up.
Yeah,
like you got the push off. You got to get them up.
I would have liked to have seen.
So Draymond gone?
I don't think so.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say. I would have liked to see what happened after that as well. Like we talked about, what was the reaction of the other players after that happened? They kind of cut it right then. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I kind of wanted to see some of that aftermath and kind of see what went on at that point. Draymond's mom speaking out didn't look good. I don't know if y'all saw her talking today, but man, these dudes need to tell their moms, man, like, hey, don't get in this stuff. Just let it be.
He made a good comment though, where he talked about, he showed remorse. He said that he was embarrassed. He said his mom would be embarrassed. Our families have to be here for ring nights in a couple of weeks. It's something that I shouldn't have done, something that I should have been thinking about in that moment. But I feel like it was a decent comment.
That was a really well-written statement. That was a really well-written statement.
Yeah, it was. Exactly. There you go. What you said exactly, Q. Well-written. But his mom came right behind him and said, that wasn't a sucker punch. He pushed my son, and that's how he reacted. So that's what his mom said today on TMZ. So that's what I'm saying. So
down, man.
She deactivated her account.
We can move on after this, but do we all agree that when a man is coming in kissing distance from you, you push him out of your fucking face, right? Like we all do that naturally, right? When like, what you in my face for, bro? What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? That's not some. Hey, well, let me just see let's see what he's doing with my lips. What, dude? Hit me. Like what, dude? Yeah. Dude, a dude about to sniff my nose. You talking about something? No, come on, now, stop.
Right. And like I said, and like y'all said, I guess maybe he wasn't there. And this dude, most people thinking, and these dudes now, they're not thinking like this dude finna punch me. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't prepared.
Especially when Steve Kerr is your coach. Like you're not thinking like, yo, this is gonna happen in front of Steve Kerr. All people.
Steve Kerr should have let him know, hey, bro, that day. Keep him up.
He did. That's what he said.
Told him.
Hey, he should have been like, hey man, go ahead, hey, use that step back. You know what I mean?
Right.
He should have Euro stepped after, you know.
But to answer your question, Ken, Draymond won't be there next year. This time next year, Draymond will not be there.
Lakers?
Yeah, I can't say. I don't know where he'll go. The Lakers, according to the league, that's where he want to be. But
I love him next to Embiid personally. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Yeah. That'd be nice too.
You know where I would like him? I don't know if they could afford him. But like the Heat will be perfect for him. Like I'm just because it's really about style of play.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Boston needs him of all teams. Boston needs.
You know where else? You know where else he would be good. He would be good with Milwaukee.
Him and Giannis could be a little redundant, but maybe it could work. Maybe.
The only reason I say that is because we talk about the tough guy, and when he had what's his name, PJ next to him. It was easier for him to kind of operate, and I think Draymond will stay out of his way. You get him the ball where you need to get it and do the dirty work.
Do you know where actually I think he would actually fit best FIFO? Dallas.
He could play with Luka.
Yeah, they said that.
He could play with Luka.
Yeah.
But
He's the grit. He's the grit that Luka needs, and he can take some of the ball handling responsibilities off him and have court when he needs to. All that stuff.
Yeah.
What about New Orleans?
No,
Zion,
nah. New Orleans is all right. They don't need Draymond. Zion is a super version of Draymond.
Yeah.
He don't
Draymond
need
was
the ball to
not
score 30
touching.
points.
Yeah, they got the balls where it needs to be.
Chicago could use him.
Yeah.
What's a market for him?
Yeah, there's a market.
There's like a good 7 to 8 teams that could talk themselves into
Yeah.
Draymond Green. Phoenix
Shit,
could use him.
You know where too? The Clippers.
Yeah.
He could fit with the Clippers. He's a playmaking forward. Can you imagine a lineup, a defensive lineup of PG, Kawhi, and Draymond?
John Wall.
Like, bruh.
That'd be tough to score on them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I want to clear up something real quick. King, yeah, you whooped my ass. I have 2 fantasy football teams. I won handily in one, but I got the shit beat out of me by Killer Kings, 107-57. Like, it was bad, like I was like, I didn't even know it was that bad. All I saw, I did a video Sunday, and I saw him comment talking about, yeah, man, I'm pretty much beating your ass this week. And I was like, shit, what the? And then I looked, it was 57. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, so I'm 1-4 in that league. That's crazy.
Who's in first place in that league, Ken?
But you know, it's not over till it's over. Let me see. Need for She and Lords of the Gridiron are both 4-1.
Oh, okay.
But you know, we'll
feel
see.
like Sheldon thought that answer was going to be something different.
Yeah,
no, I ain't in that league. I just wanted to know who was on that side.
All right, let's get into these top 5 picks, man, and we'll get out of here. I'm gonna start with the point guard position, and then we'll just we'll kind of snake it. So I'm gonna start with you, Spike. I guess for number 5, who you got?
Trae Young. Excuse me, I'm sorry, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.